The Magnificent Battle, Merlin, Arthur's Court, and the Mistress of Time by the Magus. Read by the Magus. Chapter 3, Stonehenge. The vast emptiness of the star-filled sky overwhelmed the weak and pale sliver of moon. She was falling to her periodic cycle of death and resurrection, and her struggle to light the world was futile. It was not her fading light, but the cold, stern clarity of the stars that preserved visible orientation. There was hardly a horizon to mark the end of the plain, only starlight to illuminate the hulking stones that congregated in the circle to witness the foolishness of men. The landscape seemed barren and still, yet in the monotonous ocean of darkness there was something mysterious that slowly made its way toward the massive, ancient circle that stood, illuminated not so much by the dying light as by the spiritual power it embodied. The plain was empty now, at least of the human presence. The great festivals of the Beltane were yet to come. The sacred fires had not been lit. The great fertility festivals had not yet quickened the spirits of the faithful. Soon, however, the rejuvenated sun would turn the eternal tide of battle and bring warmth and hope to cold and exhausted bodies, and especially weary minds, rescuing them from the oppressive darkness, wind, and hunger that ravaged the land and the people in it. Yes, soon there would be frogs peeping and buds springing from places where there had only been the hardened dead of winter. Life would return, Mother Earth would bloom, and the people would prosper. But not yet. There was no safe night to cross the Salisbury plain. The recent deaths of the High Priestess and her heir apparent left no doubt of that. But early spring nights before the Beltane and after the fullness of the moon were less risky than others. The new High Priestess, still not comfortable in her new position or with her new responsibilities, advanced toward the hulking stones, always casting her eyes into the margins of the night, anticipating danger, even if there was no place to hide and no cover but the darkness. She knew that some powerful magus wanted to destroy the priesthood. She surmised that she, as the new High Priestess, was likely the next target of a very powerful murderer. She also had learned from the world of men that there was a new and effective band of killers who brought skill and remorselessness to their work. She knew that death stalked her. She had hope in her powers, but she knew she had assumed her role without the benefit of all the wisdom she should have received from her predecessors, without knowing all the secrets, without mastering all her weapons. She knew that she must come here to commune with the source of her power. She must learn quickly before she, the Council of Elders, and so much more were destroyed. She hid herself under her dark cloak and made certain that she was alone. When she was convinced that the way was clear, she approached the stones with anxious anticipation. To the uninitiated, it would seem that they watched menacingly as she approached, and even for the High Priestess, they inspired reverence. She entered the openness of the sanctuary and approached the altar stone. She pulled from her cloak a bag of seeds and spices. She spread them over the altar. Then she brought barley cakes from a cloth bag and set them down. Lastly, she took out a small vial of the finest wine and splashed it around the stone. She said some words that were not made for humans to hear. From the wine-sprinkled altar came a sizzling noise, and smoke began to rise. She looked into the midst and saw the face she had come to see. "Great Mother, I am disturbed." "Speak, lady," came a deep feminine voice. "There is a great evil come to our world, and I do not know where to find it or what to do." "Yes, great evil is traveling in your world and time. She is very near." She? Is this great evil a she? The lady questioned herself. She knew that the Great Mother was not given to many words. It was her first clue. "Why is she here? Why does she murder? What will she do, Great Mother?" implored the priestess. "She seeks power, chaos, revenge," came the reply. "But what can she do here?" the priestess asked. "It is her perfect moment to divert the river of time, vanquish the power of the Council of Elders, destroy a kingdom, and satisfy her lust for revenge," came the reply. "We must combat this evil," the priestess said. "It is always necessary to combat evil." "Yes, but we do not know how," she responded. "Look to the Cassiopeia for direction." The lady looked into the crisp night sky. She could see the constellation with its 5 stars clearly. They seemed unusually bright in the late winter sky, but she did not understand the meaning. Before the lady could ask, the face in the smoke said, "There are 2 springs of living water. If they are brought together, they will become streams. If they are nourished by earth and rain, trial and encounter, perhaps they will become a mighty river. One arises from the mists of the present, one from the distant mountains of the future. If these streams combine, they will possess the power to overcome the evil." "Where will we find these streams? I do not understand," the lady replied. You will, came the voice. "Send the one whose magic is greatest." The voice trailed as it spoke. Wait, the lady implored. Only the wind spoke in the silence, the smoke, the face. The answers blew away. The High Priestess stared into the darkness and looked again into the winter sky. There was much to discover, much to do. There was danger, but there was hope. She threw more seeds on the altar as thanks. Once again the mother had comforted her, but as usual by another confusing challenge. She carefully made her way to the edge of the stones, made sure the way was clear, then set off on the next part of her journey.